What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the DESTIHL Brewery, and they are out of Normal, Illinois, and this is their Spicy Pickle Sour Beer. So this is a gose-style with pickle brine and coriander. It comes in at 5.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, this can is just under 5 months old. So full disclosure, I've had this beer before. I actually had this one last October, so October of 2023, and it was one of the rare beers that I just didn't review on the channel. I don't know the reasoning, I just didn't, and I wish I would have, because this beer is delicious. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Untappd, and listen, this is a gimmicky beer. No doubt, these pickle beers are definitely gimmicky beers, and I've reviewed a couple on the channel, one from Prairie, which was their Spicy Pickle Monster, and then I reviewed one from K2, I forget the name of it, they're out of Rochester, and both those beers were really good, but this one was superior to both, in my opinion. So I saw a can recently, and even though the fact that it's a little bit older, I thought, why not do a proper review and see if it's as good as I remember it being last October. So they have a little spiel on the side, says, the tart citrusy flavors of a distilled gose combined with SuckerPunch spicy garlic pickle brine to create a flavor experience that hits your taste buds with a wallop. Cheers. And it pretty much did. So I think the key thing with this one is they're using a spicy garlic pickle brine. I don't know. It was fantastic for what it is. Now, I'm never going to be able to session these beers. You know, I'm not going to have 6 packs just hanging out in the fridge. But for a gimmicky beer, I thought they did an incredible job with it. So I'm hoping that this beer is just as good as I remember it being, because I could go for a pickle beer right now. You ever think like 10 plus years ago you'd have people saying that? Like, yo, where's that pickle beer at? Like, what? It's stupid, but it's also, listen, craft beer can be fun. And these are fun beers. These are like flight beers, or share them with other people. You're not going to, take them down yourself, most likely. Although I'm probably going to do it with this one. Maybe though, but if you like, dill pickles and pickle brine and stuff, I was one of those weird kids that would actually like drink the pickle juice, so the brine. So anyway, I'm an idiot. That looks beautiful. It looks like a gose. It has, you can see my the shadow of my hand, but it has like, some gentle haze to it. It had about a finger of an off-white colored head, somewhat soap sudsy and creamy, but it's dissipated to a thin film, probably because of the pickle brine and everything. When you start throwing adjuncts and additives and stuff, a lot of times you don't get great head retention, but the color of the beer has that beautiful, like hazy, orange, yellow color. Hold it up to a light, looks beautiful. I have it in the Westbrook glass because I got properly introduced to goses as a whole from Westbrook, from their base one to one of my favorite goses of all time, the key lime pie. So I thought, why not throw this into the Westbrook glass, because it's a gose at heart anyway. Let's get a dose. Like, I shouldn't be laughing and I shouldn't be surprised, and I'm not, but it just smells like fucking pickle brine. That's what it smells like. It smells like I just opened up a jar of pickles that had a little bit of spice character to them. A little bit more intense on the garlic, and I'm just smelling the fucking brine. That's what's happening. It does maybe have more of like a tart, like acidic kind of bite to the nose that you would maybe get, just open up a jar of pickles. But I'm going to not sit here and bullshit you and be like, oh, I get the gose base, I get this, and this, because I don't. It smells like fucking spicy garlic pickle brine to a T. Not much more to say about it. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. The only way to sum this one up for me personally is, if you're a fan of two things, pickles as a whole, and you actually enjoy the brine, and then if you like spice, because it combines those two things into a 5.5% beer of some sort, and that's what you're drinking. Like, it's funny that, I don't want to say they hype it up, but they talk about like, the tart citrusy flavors of a distilled gose-style. Sure, but like the predominant note is that pickle brine. Let's go body mouthfeel. Body's higher side of light, lower side of medium, 5.5%, a little bit light as a whole, but I think that's fine for what this is. The mouthfeel, good, moderate touch over moderate carbonation. It's effervescent. It has just a good spritzy carbonation on it. It's smooth to some extent, but body mouthfeel are fine. The taste, it's exactly what you would expect it to be. Now, from front to back, and this isn't, if you watch my reviews, I have like a system of how I go. Like, I go in certain order. I have a formula per se, and that formula is out the window with this review, because front to back, it is spicy. It hits me right at the forefront, carries on through the palate, and then right in the back of the throat. So whatever spiciness that pickle brine has, whether it's like habaneros or something like that, feels like habaneros because it's hitting me in the back of the throat, or something, a pepper akin to that, more so than like a jalapeno or whatnot. It has a decent heat to it. On top of that, you do get a nice, like, firm garlic kind of characteristic. That's what I remember with the K2 brothers. It was very garlicky, and this is as well. And the salt character, the salinity in this one is coming from the pickle brine as opposed to them brewing it with salt, because if they did salt and then the pickle brine, it would just be too sweet, too salty as a whole, and it's not. So the pickle brine is what you get front to back. It's like drinking a alcoholic pickle brine, and it's fucking delicious. I think where the gose comes to the forefront a bit is it definitely has a nice, like, firm tartness front to back, a little bit of acidity on the back of the throat too. They're talking about like citrus flavors. I could see, someone saying like a lemon, maybe a lemon lime, maybe a touch of orange, more like lemon lime. The coriander is getting kind of lost in the sea of the pickle brine, so that's not really standing out on the palate. It finishes quite dry, no bitterness, but quite dry. This isn't sweet to begin with. It's fucking pickle brine. You don't expect it to be sweet. So between the tartness, the salinity, the acidity, and the dryness, like, it just has a great balance for kind of what I'm looking for if I'm going to pick something like this up. And again, I've had maybe like a half dozen pickle beers in my life, and this is something rarely, like, I've reviewed 2 on the channel, maybe like once a year I'll review something like this. Again, very gimmicky, but it's a gimmick beer done extremely well. 5.5%, you really can't tell. And the spiciness is not building with each sip. Kind of, if I just sit here after each sip for, like, again, while I'm talking, a minute or two, it kind of dies down, take another sip, kicks back up. It's not really building. Maybe if you, like, took a sip every like 30 seconds, maybe it would, but it isn't. It has a good heat. I mean, I have a decent heat tolerance. It's not that high, but, like I've mentioned before, like habaneros are kind of where, like, I kind of tap out. But this isn't too spicy for me. But I couldn't session these for multiple reasons. However, like, I couldn't drink a couple just because I think the heat would probably get to me at some point. But this is significantly hotter than a lot of other, like, pepper beers that I've had where they're like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be spicy. No, this is spicy. Not over the top spicy, but this is a nice heat that works with every sip. I think is just really well done. So yeah, I mean, I knew this one was delicious when I had it back in October of 2023. I'm drinking it now. It's just as good. Maybe not as good, like slightly less impressive, because I haven't had many spicy pickle beers. I've had some different, pickle beers, but this is still really nice. So DESTIHL's Spicy Pickle Sour Beer. I'm going to have to keep the 4.5 out of 5, but go low 4 or 5. I'm going to go 4.4 out of 5. This is fucking cool as hell. Like, again, there's a lot of gimmicky beers nowadays. That's kind of what I feel like, beer is as a whole. You have the classic styles that a lot of us enjoy, but then you get some of the cool gimmicky beers, whether it's like the heavily fruited sours or, crazy pastry beers, whether it's stouts or sours as well. And then you get something like this where you're like, well, I don't see pickle beers all that often, and it's fun. It's something different. I like sprinkle them in, review from time to time, like drinking them from time to time. But this is a fun beer. This is a really fun beer, and I can't recommend this one enough if you like pickles and you like spice and you like beer. So grab it. Anyway, and I like the old timer, like the old boxer, like bare knuckle boxer guy on there. He's got a pickle in his hand. Watch out. Make sure he doesn't slap you with it. Anyway, we're going to throw this over here. Price point availability. I think this was like $12 a 4-pack. I paid like $3 something for that can. I was like $3.29 or something. That's fine. It's a gimmicky beer. They do come in 4-packs. There's 12 fluid ounce cans. They do come in 4-packs as opposed to 6-packs, at least where I saw them. So, $12 for a 4-pack of that. A little bit pricey, but it is what it is. It's a gimmick beer. It has the brine. It's a fun beer, so I don't mind paying that, especially $3.29 for a can. I paid much more for much worse. And then availability, I have no idea with this deal. We get drips and drabs of their stuff here in the Western New York area, more specifically Buffalo, New York. I've seen like a couple of their different other goses, but outside of that, I really haven't seen a ton from them. But this and the regular pickle beer they have, which I don't know if I've had the regular pickle beer from them. Might have to pick it up at some point. But yeah, I usually see those two and maybe a gose here and there. Their pina colada goses was hung around for quite a while here in the Buffalo, New York area. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. I think it's pretty fucking good. Again, it's a gimmicky beer. I can see a lot of you watching this and commenting like, not for me. No, I'd never try it. And I get that. I totally get that. But, you know, there's so many different styles, so many different beers out there, so many gimmicky beers that we're not all going to want to, you know, try out the same beers. And I think this beer specifically does a fantastic job of, you know, setting out what they set out to do. They pretty much nailed, more or less. Pickle brine, delicious. I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.